Welcome back to Focus Today. And hey, guess what we're going to do? We're going to open up the phone lines for you. And here's the phone number, 541-776-5770. We want to hear from you. How you handling? Who you vote for? What do you think? And we aren't going to correct it any way, shape, or form. You want to vent? That's your vent line. 541-776-5770.
Steve, I like that. That is good. The vent line. That sounds like it's a how about that? That would be an amazing show to have on once a week or so.
Here it is.
Yeah. You just talk about it.
The vent line.
We let you do it.
Yeah, 541-776-5770. That's what we'll call these two segments. The vent line.
It's a cathartic experience for you and your cats.
Yeah.
Well, we're working on this.
Yeah. And we're here to virtually hold your hand and be with you as you vent.
Yeah, we're going to virtually hug you and say it's going to be okay.
There you go. I like it.
541-776-5770. You got some polls and data?
I do. You know, might as well start it off that way until we get your call. So go ahead and let us know, because the polls, as we have noted, are all over the place. And how do you know what to trust? The only thing you can do is look at which ones were accurate in 2012 and say, well, maybe they'll be accurate this time. And the most accurate poll was Investors Business Daily, known as the IBD poll. You know what it's showing?
What?
What do you think?
Tie.
Trump.
It's a tie.
Trump.
But we're seeing things as extreme as the LA Times showing, and this is general election, Trump versus Clinton, with Trump up by 5.
Which they've always have been kind of on the
They haven't been as high as that, but they've been higher than that. Yes, high like that. But now we have, let me look at another one. This is also a, let's see, this one is a ABC Washington poll. It says Clinton is up by 2. CBS News says Clinton is up by 3. So you've got everything from Trump up by 5 to Clinton up by 3.
Okay.
So, I mean, they're all over the place. This is well out of the margin of error when you consider the polls that broad.
The vent line. 541-776-5770. It's a direct line right into the studio. Randy from Klamath Falls, go.
Good morning and glory to God in the highest.
Yes.
Well, I am going to be voting for Donald Trump, and I do believe that Hillary Clinton and the current executive branch should have charges of treason brought against them. I'll also be voting for Greg Weldon for a U.S. representative, for he is, I'm a vet, and he supports veterans.
Good for you. Can I ask you how you voted on Measure 97?
No. Yeah, I will not accept that. No new taxes.
All right. You're the man. Thanks for listening, Klamath Falls, Randy. Good to hear you.
Yeah. Can I make one more statement?
Sure. Go ahead.
Vent away.
Vent, baby, vent.
Vent.
I know our Lord and God is ruler and in charge of everything. There will not be any person over any country that he has not put there. So I leave that with that.
Okay, buddy. Thanks for your call. All right, let's, again, the vent number, 541-776-5770. It's the number right into the studio. Hi, Diane. What's going on?
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for the tremendous amount of information that we've learned through the interviews you've been doing, and for theDove. You're terrific.
Thank you.
We voted yesterday, mailed it yesterday. We voted for Trump and Pence, and we voted Republican down the line, and we voted no on 97. And in regard to Trump, we have watched a change in him. He has become thoughtful, a leader. He's been more respectful. He's been more focused. And here he is promoting issues that we believe in: life for the unborn, freedom of religion, the freedom of pastors to speak out without fear, freedom for Christians to speak out without fear, support of Israel, and of course the appointing of Supreme Court justices who are constitutional, closed borders. It would be so foolish to open our borders to everyone. How do you keep a country if the whole world is flooding in and trying to destroy you? And so on and so on. We see in him tremendous leadership qualities. He has asked for prayer for America, and he says he loves the American people. He can be an outstanding leader, just as outstanding as Ronald Reagan was. So that's what we did.
All right. Well, thanks for venting it here.
Thanks for the opportunity. God bless you.
You too. All right. Again, the vent number is 541-776-5770. One more before we take a break here. Hi, John.
Hello, Perry. I want to preface this with a question. Didn't in the Old Testament, if the prophet, if it didn't come true, they would take them out and stone them to death?
Yeah, pretty much.
I guess that's why there's more people out there that claim to be prophets these days, because they don't have that consequence. But there is a prophecy by a retired firefighter named Mark Taylor. Are you familiar with that?
I've seen bits and pieces of it, but not totally, no.
Yeah, I Googled that quite a while ago, and it just resonated with me. And, well, I am for Trump as a believer. I don't think as a believer you could be for anybody else, even though I guess there's millions out there that...
What did the prophecy say, John?
Well, the prophecy said the upshot was that Trump would be as a Cyrus, that God can use anyone,
That's Isaiah
believer or unbeliever, to rebuild.
Yeah.
And
we've talked about that.
Yeah, that's Isaiah 44 and 45, where God chose Cyrus to be king, and even though he didn't believe in him.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And so I would encourage people to check it out.
All right. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
All right. Polina, you had something before we take a break.
Well, we've talked a lot about the relationship, how they've been affected this election season. 7% of people said that they have severed their relationships and even lost friendships and family members over the disagreements. Well, another story we had yesterday was that more than half of Americans say that they're worn out by this presidential election. They're ready for November 9th, and they're just excited for this to be over. More than half of Americans are done. So we want to hear from you and see if you're one of those Americans that are ready for this election to be over. Give us a call, 541-776-5770. This is the Vent Line. We'll let you talk and we'll let you finish your sentences. So call us now, 541-776-5770.
All right, let's go to Kathy. You have a different point of view on the election, Kathy?
Oh, actually, I'm concerned about something that hasn't been brought up by anybody that I've heard of. On our state election for governor, we're seeing tons of ads for Brown. I'm seeing nothing for Bud Pierce. And has our Republican Party abandoned him or something? I'm concerned because I haven't seen a single ad. I've gotten nothing in the mail for him.
A lot of that has to do with how your war chest is, too, and the party, as you well know, Perry, can be a part of that, but it has to do also with how much money you've got. That's why we're seeing Trump and Hillary just bombarding everything with all they've got. Yeah. State elections are a little bit different that way.
I would say you bring up a good point, Kathy. I would say a couple of things. Number one, I don't think the state party has a lot of money to support him, unfortunately, nor has he raised a lot of money himself in order to get his message out, unfortunately. He did have two pieces of bad publicity, unfortunately. So the combination of those three, no, he's not getting the coverage that perhaps he should be getting. However, I will say this, he seems to be polling better than people thought he would.
Oh, well, I hope so. I'm voting for him.
Okay.
And on 97, on that bill, a lot of newcomers to the state are not aware that many times, I think I at one time even heard the number 9, that the politicians have tried to get the state of Oregon to pass a sales tax. But so many of us have seen what has happened in other states. I remember when I was a young child in Southern California, my mother talking about how the politicians had promised that when they got everybody talked into a state sales tax of about 2%, that's as far as it would go, that it would never go higher. Well, they lied. And now look at it.
There you go.
And so a lot of folks in Oregon feel like, well, we're not going to do that. And here they've come through the back door, so to speak. They've tried another route to try and get a state sales tax from a completely different angle. And a lot of new folks coming in don't realize what the history is on that one here.
Yeah, we
so
voted
anyway, that's just what I wanted to share.
Thank you. Yeah, we voted. Thank you, Kathy. We voted down sales tax 9 times. One more quick one before we take a break. Robert from up around the Merlin area. Hi, Robert. What's on your mind?
Oh, very good. Yes, I voted no on 97, and I voted Donald Trump as our president, and I voted Republican, particularly federal, state, and counties. Okay, but I have one comment to say. Sure. God gave us a fighter, Donald Trump. I don't think any of the other Republican candidates could fight the way that the liberal news media is battling Donald Trump right now, because they're part of the establishment. So that's just the thought.
Thanks for venting it here, Robert. All right, the phone number is 541-776-5770. 541-776-5770. That's the vent line. We'll take a quick break. By the way, he reminds me of something I read yesterday. Donald Trump, you know, it's been said the media's against him, Republicans against him, the Democrats against him, the establishment's against him, everybody's against him, but he's still doing very, very well. Somebody said on one of the commentaries, he is fighting like the third monkey on the ark.
Oh.
So that's a nice way of putting it. He's fighting like the third monkey on the ark. We'll take a quick break. Be right back.
I'm Paulina Leiser, producer of Focus Today. Thank you for watching this video, and make sure to check our other videos at theDove.us.
Welcome back to Focus Today. A little bit of a special edition here. We're opening the phone lines. We're calling it the Vent Line. You can call in 541-776-5770 and tell us how you're handling the election. Maybe if you want to share with us how you voted, that's fine. Kind of particular to find out how you looked at Measure 97. But it's the Vent Line, and so maybe you're upset about something, and maybe you're upset about us. I don't know. Give us a call. It's the Vent Line, 541-776-5770. Well, Donald Trump is in his stump speech in the last couple of days saying, hey, you 4 states out there that allow you to go back and change your vote, go do it. How's it happening? Yeah,
well, as we reported this morning, a lot of people have been doing that. I don't have the exact numbers, but they are noticing that people are changing their votes. And this, of course, is where Hillary's telling people, and for the past 2 weeks, get out and vote early, because I think she may have seen some more bad news coming her way. So Donald then says, hey, if you have buyer's remorse, remember he mentioned that comment, vote for me. And it looks like that may be happening. And Rasmussen has done a study, just a recent one now that's just out, that also ties in with all of this. And the question was, how certain are you will vote for a candidate and not change it? How dedicated are you? Not just people who voted, but how dedicated? Trump has now over 50% support, and this is a 3% lead over Hillary. Yeah. So now those people who are committed to voting, there's more of them that are Trump voters. And so it's the Hillary ones that perhaps are the ones that are reevaluating who they voted for, and those could go to Trump. So it's better news for Trump now. And I think he hit a chord when he said, if you have buyer's remorse, we've all related to that. Yeah. A car or something else that you bought and you thought, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. Well, there are 4 states where you can do that, and it looks like people are acting on that. Well,
it's very interesting. A lot of articles are saying that Hillary is the 46% candidate. Actually, they call her the 36% candidate, but with the general election being the way it is, it's the 46% candidate, and that's it. So if he's coming in at 50, you know. All right, let's go back to the phones. Hi, Shirley. You got about information that you heard about Obama's departure.
Well, I looked up an article in I think it's the Boston Globe. Michelle Obama's mother cleaning up the White House and taking care of her grandchildren, quote unquote, for 8 years. She is now going to receive $160,000 a year for the rest of her life. Lifetime pension.
This is who, Obama's brother?
Mother-in-law.
No. It's Obama. It's Michelle Obama's mother.
Oh, Michelle Obama's.
Yeah. The kid's grandmother is retiring as a government employee on $160,000 a year.
Is that because, was she then hired as like a nanny in the White House?
Yeah, well, as a government employee to take care of the, yeah, but.
Wow, I did not know that. So her pension for being there for 8 years is $160,000 for life?
Yes.
All grandparents should get that.
Well, yeah, all parents. Wow. Well, there you go. Thank you, Shirley. That's an interesting point of view. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay, let's go to Charlie. Thanks for waiting, Charlie. You can vent here. What's on your mind?
Well, good morning, gentlemen. I would like to remind everybody that they're losing their minds over the presidential election, but it's the Electoral College that elects the president. Am I right?
Yeah, and it's where those votes are being cast that are so important. That's why Ohio and Florida are so huge states right now, because of them being the swing states for that.
Yeah, so maybe we should try and push to get the popular vote back into effect. That way, when people are losing their minds over a candidate, they can actually have their vote count when they vote.
Well, the Electoral College argument comes up every presidential cycle, Charlie. It's an interesting one. But think of it this way. The Electoral College, your state will cast its electoral vote based upon the popular vote. In other words, if in Oregon, if by chance more Republicans voted in Oregon than Democrats, and Trump was to win Oregon, then he would get the electoral votes in Oregon. That's how that works. So it does coincide with popular. Now, a lot of people want the Electoral College gone and just go for the total of popular votes. The problem with that is, one of the problems is that it's kind of like the state of Oregon. The state of Oregon is pretty much controlled by 3 counties up north. And if we went just on popular vote, which we do have in the state of Oregon, that's why we have a democratically controlled House and Senate up there, and a Democratic governor, because the northern counties of the state are pretty liberal and they control the vote.
Yeah, kind of like down here in California, same thing.
Yeah, interesting. Thanks, Charlie.
Okay, thank you. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too. All right. Hey, listen, the vent line, 541-776-5770. What you thinking? What do you want to express? 541-776-5770. You can vent it here. What do you got?
Well, you know, speaking of electoral votes, Oregon, according to Facebook, is going to vote Trump. The Facebook analytics shows that Donald Trump receives almost 50-50 coverage when it comes to positive and negative posts. But Hillary Clinton receives almost all negative posts, even from her supporters. So by analyzing what people are saying about these two candidates, Trump and Clinton, Facebook has printed out, posted a map, Electoral College map, that shows that only California, Illinois, and a few other countries over their states, East Coast, will vote Clinton. Everything else is Trump, and so Facebook is predicting a landslide for Trump.
Well,
not official, Mark didn't come out and say Trump will win, but Facebook analytics show that there is a favoritism.
That Oregon would go for Trump.
Yeah,
that would be the first time since Reagan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that would be expected at all, but this is a very unexpected election.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when you have Arizona possibly going for Hillary. You know, they've always been conservative and pretty much
That surprises
Republican.
me with the border issues that they're facing in Arizona. I'm surprised that so many people would vote for someone.
Well, they have a lot of Hispanic people who, Hispanic voters who may have relatives on the other side of the border.
That's true.
I tell you what, if one of the indicators to me would be what gives Trump hope in the state of Oregon is Measure 97. If Measure 97 goes down, that plays in the Trump's favor very, very well, you know. And right now, Measure 97 is not polling well at all in the state. The good news is, on the Republican side, that the highest elected Republican official could be our own Dennis Richardson. He is doing extremely well for the Secretary of State's job. He's polling very well. He's got a lot of newspapers endorsement. But the endorsements are this: he's the most qualified ever to be in that position. He was a budget hawk when he was in the House.
Yeah.
And he sat on the budget committee. And then that one session where the Republicans and the Democrats were tied and they had joint chairs of committees, Dennis is a real budget hawk. I mean, this guy really understands it. And so a lot of people have recognized that. Even liberal newspapers have recognized that and realized he would make the best Secretary of State. And if he wins, and it looks like he's going to win, it will be one of the biggest Republican boosts in the state in a long, long time.
And I think a lot of people remember also Brad Avakian's view on the bakers and the same-sex case situation where the Labor Commission came out and fined them. And I think people were saying, well, don't they have to have a day in court? And it just shows a heavy-handedness that the government can have. So that hasn't been brought up much, but I think that's in the back of people's minds.
All right, the vent line is open, 541-776-5770. That's the line right into the studio here, 541-776-5770. Jeanette, hi.
Oh, hi, Perry. I just had a little something about, well, one, I voted for Trump, and this is the first time I voted straight Republican. I usually just, go by the candidates, but something needs to be done. But the main thing I called about was that back during, Bill Clinton was president, a local lady, I lived down in the Santa Cruz area in California, and a lady, and she was an elderly woman, had gone to a women's conference in Washington, D.C., and Hillary was the guest speaker. And you know how when a speech is over and the speaker leaves, people are trying to shake their hands. Well, she ended up right in front of this woman from Santa Cruz, and she said God just spoke to her, and she looked up at Hillary, and she says, Mrs. Clinton, God does not want us to kill our babies. And Hillary grabbed this woman, squeezed her, and said, yes, God does want us to kill our children. And then she set her down and stomped out. And this just reminds me that, God will not be mocked.
Yeah.
And, it's...
wow. That's quite a story. Wow. Thank you, Jeanette.
Okay, you're welcome.
Okay, let me go to Robert real quick. Hi, Robert. What's going on?
Yes, I have one suggestion. They're trying to extend this monument that's in Oregon here, okay?
Yeah.
That's tyranny. They're taking our rights away from us. They're going against the law of our Constitution and the Constitution of the United States. So it's very, very important that the people please do vote Republican and get Ron Wyden out of the Senate seat so we can and get involved with this. This is going to keep on going past the election. Please get involved and find out more about stealing our land from us. We need the log and mine and everything else to get our country going back again.
All right, thank you, Robert. All right, the vent line, 541-776-5770. That's a big issue. That's something we could probably do.
The monuments you're
talking
about?
Now the opposition against it, they're trying to turn 50,000 acres right on the border of Oregon and California into a monument, which would basically be, federal lands and all that. And you had a story today that the Jackson County Commissioners are weighing in on this?
Yeah, apparently they are sending a message after having some hearings, and apparently the hearings, you go to hearings and it seems one-sided. Well, they said when they got all the letters and the hearings, it was 2-1 opposing the monument concept, but if you're at the hearing, it sounded like everybody was pretty much in favor of it. So they're sending that to President Obama. Now, what good that'll do, I don't know, but they are taking a stand to say, look, this is in our region, and this is a concern we have. Here's the report about how people in Southern Oregon don't want to have a monument extended.
It's very controversial, very emotional. One of the things you need to just remember that the federal government already controls about 56% of the land in Oregon. That's a big number.
Yeah.
And in some cases it's good, in some cases it's not. And but now they want more, 50,000 acres more. And is this a pristine area? Can it be used? Can it be managed? All of the things that go in with it. But now that the Jackson County Commissioners have weighed in, this will be interesting to see what happens and what Congressman Walden's position. I haven't heard his position on this. Have you?
Specifically, I think, well, not officially. Yeah. I think he's opposed to it, but I don't know that he's made a statement yet.
Okay, because he would be the water carrier to Washington to make this go away or happen. All right, thanks for listening. Yeah. Thanks for watching, and have a great day, and be sure to vote. Be sure to vote. Don't drop it in the mail now. Drive it down and get it into one of those boxes. We'll see you next time on Focus Today.